maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
They have one more win than Chicago, and they literally beat Chicago in Week 17, and yet the Niners are on the road and the Bears are at home. Why? Because of an outdated rule that says, well, winning your division is the holy grail. Rewarding an 8-win division winner with a home playoff game is like giving the corner office to the guy who won the office fantasy pool instead of the guy who actually closed the accounts all year.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Yes. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. But, more music, less music, more music, less music. It doesn't matter. It's a Monday. Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. My main man, Tyron A. Johnson, are right over there in the corner.
Yeah.
And the sports gods do love me after all. That's right. Despite another losing season for the Jets, despite the fact the Yankees didn't win a World Series, despite the blah, 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 the Kansas City Chiefs didn't make the playoffs. Bye-bye. And now your beloved Philadelphia Eagles are one and done. It's funny because in Philadelphia, I know a lot of fans, as you are well aware, having lived in Philadelphia for 5-6 years of my life, and doing sports talk radio there, and marrying into a Philadelphia Eagle family, and all the nonsense and garbage that comes with it. What happened to the dynasty? I kept hearing talk about this is a dynasty in the making. The AFC has run roughshod over us for all those years, but we are here. It is now. It is our time. Here's the reality in Philadelphia. You need a new offensive coordinator. Check the box. You need a new head coach. Check the box. You need new fans. Check the box. You need a new offensive line. Check the box. You need a defense with heart. Check the box.
Get out of your mind.
And on and on and on.
You go too far. You go too far. Now, I didn't say anything when you said offensive coordinator because he stunk, all right?
Patullo, God.
Yeah. Now, Nick Sirianni is a good coach, but he did a terrible job this year. He has a tremendous win percentage, and this hate coming for him is going too far.
Well, let me walk you through, Tyrone. Nick Sirianni.
No. You said new fans.
Yeah.
No, you don't need new fans.
New
It's
fans.
ridiculous.
That's right. Fans that don't throw loaded bottles and cans at San Francisco fans merely for, walking down the street.
That didn't really happen. They also weren't just walking down the street. They were acting like they were tough guys. They were there talking. First of all, nothing's full. You're talking about a couple guys with solo cups.
Yeah.
You're talking about loaded bottles of cans. You're talking about solo cups.
Cement in those solo cups.
No, there's not.
Cement in there.
Yeah, right. Cement. Where did they get the cement from?
Well, let's get into the games. We'll start with Philly since it's the obvious low-hanging fruit for guys like me who hate Philadelphia and their sports teams and a lot of their fans. Not all of them. Some of the fans are decent, hardworking people. Not most of them, but some of them are. But what an embarrassment that was, huh? You've got a depleted San Francisco team. You've got 2 bad interceptions by Brock Purdy.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have a chance to take care of business and win a football game and advance on to play the Chicago Bears. And I'm watching the whole game going to myself, would have been interesting had the Eagles try to win Week 18. could have the Green Bay Packers in your building,
Yeah.
as opposed to one of the great young quarterbacks in the game, the machine, Brock Purdy.
Threw 2 picks. You just said it. How's he a machine?
He's a machine.
He threw 2 picks. He didn't even play that well.
Also threw 2 touchdown
Yeah, but he
passes,
didn't
as
play,
you know.
You know he didn't play that well.
Played
He
great.
like 50% of his passes and threw 2 picks.
Played great.
No, he didn't.
Played great enough to go
The
to
biggest
Philadelphia.
play was Jawan Jennings. He didn't even have the biggest throw in the game.
Juwan Jennings completed more touchdown passes than your quarterback did.
Well, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He completed the God. So you can't just make stuff up. It's bad enough. No, it's bad enough. All right? It's bad enough that I got to deal with it in real life.
Yeah.
Okay, what really happened?
Yeah.
Now I got to add all
That's
this
right.
false fuel.
I'm trying to figure out what happened to Philadelphia.
I'll tell you what happened.
Oh, I know the answer.
Tell you what happened.
The answer is that Nick Sirianni's a lousy coach.
No.
If I was the Eagles, I would replace Nick Sirianni because I could go get a couple guys that I know are better than Nick Sirianni, whether that's Sean Harbaugh,
He's not
whether
better.
that's Kevin Stefanski.
He's not better.
I think Mike McDaniel might be better
No, he's not.
than Nick Sirianni.
No, he's not.
Nick Sirianni is a cheerleader. Nick Sirianni has pom-poms on his hands. Nick Sirianni is quite famously not allowed in the defensive meetings because Vic Fangio's like, I don't want your bad breath in my meeting. And on the offensive side, Nick Sirianni doesn't call plays. So we're all trying to figure out what the heck does Nick Sirianni do? Oh, I know for 100, Alex, Nick Sirianni chokes in the postseason. That's what Nick Sirianni did yesterday. Awful play calling.
It was
Awful.
bad play calling.
And then let's talk about A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, all year, all last year. I want the ball more. I want the ball more. You got to give me the ball more. Okay, well, playoff game at home. We gave you the ball more. 3 drops, maybe a 4th drop. I think it's probably a little aggressive to say that one of the deep balls was a drop.
Okay.
But 3 legitimate drops. And on the final drive of the game, ball hits him in both hands, not one hand. A.J. Brown came up small.
Yeah, and then he avoids the media after the game, after all that talking he's done. I'll say this out loud. A.J. Brown is a coward. He's a coward, a front-running coward.
I love it.
Because what you can't do is talk as much as he does. Not only does he talk after the game and criticize everybody and never internalize anything ever, he also goes on Twitch and then plays video games and talks bad about his quarterback, talks bad about his OC, talks bad about his head coach, talks bad about the offensive line. And then right when he needs to step up, he fails, and what's he do all of a sudden? Now he's quiet.
Right.
Now he ran like a coward. He played like a coward. A.J. Brown, at the end of the day, is a coward, and he's the biggest reason they lost.
Well, look, you dropped 3 balls, maybe for some people a 4th, but on the final drive of the game, he catches that ball. He might still be running. It's possible. He's that
it's
good.
A slant.
Right?
He has space.
Obviously, the Elliott mixed extra point did play a role for a minute in that
Absolutely.
game.
That
From a
last
standpoint
drive
of, do I need a field goal versus do I need a touchdown?
Absolutely.
Obviously. Now, look, things would have changed with San Francisco. Probably would have gone for 2 in one of those spots, but neither here nor there. Your all-world kicker came up small.
Yeah, he's
Your
not coming
wide
back.
receiver came up
Elliott,
small.
Missy Elliott is no longer going to be in Philadelphia.
Is that
Missy
right?
Elliott.
I love it.
Jake Elliott, thanks, Missy.
I love this. Is real passion out of Tyrone. First time in 4.5 months we see the real Tyrone. And I'm here for all of it.
Well, I'm furious.
Missy Elliott, yeah.
Missy Elliott's his name.
You should be furious because I thought you guys were starting a dynasty. I was under the impression that no, you can't be a dynasty when you lose in the first round of the playoffs.
No. If you win next year, you win 2 out of 3, and you end up winning 3.
You're not a dynasty.
If you win 3 in 5 years, you're a dynasty. That's
Is
the
that
rule.
right?
3 in 5 years is the dynasty.
That's the rule now?
That's always been the rule.
And I think this loss goes back, and we talked about it when it happened. I think part of this loss goes back to Week 18.
It does.
And you and I came in afterwards, and I could not believe that the Eagles, as a franchise, made the decision to sit all their players in that final game against Washington because you win that game. Obviously, you're the 2 seed. You get Green Bay as opposed to Chicago getting Green Bay. And while Green Bay played a great 3 quarters, Green Bay's obviously a flawed team.
Very.
Have that bad 4th quarter against Chicago. We'll get to it later, where they give up 25 points and they lose a game they had won. That game was a wrap, 21-6.
Yep.
That game was a wrap, 21-3.
Yeah.
That game was a wrap going into the 4th quarter, and they figured out how to beat the New York Giants against the Denver Broncos this year and choke away a 4th quarter guaranteed W. I'm just so glad. I had so many texts going to my friends who are Packers fans. Congrats, Ken, next week. And I was like, let me just hold off a little bit.
Yeah.
When they got to within 15. Let me hold off a little bit. And I'm glad I did. But just to finish off the thought on the Eagles,
Yeah.
that was a disgraceful performance at home.
It was.
By a team that thinks that it is some type of dynasty. Brock Purdy overcame the 2 picks. Jalen Hurts threw for 168 yards in a playoff game.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? All right, Saquon Barkley had probably his best game from a rushing standpoint without a touchdown.
Big drop, though.
Over 100 yards. Had the big drop on a little swing pass on third down.
Can't do that.
Yep, and they couldn't stop Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey had 2 obviously touchdown catches. The last one that seals away the game for them. But it was. I think it's fair to say, if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan, it's one thing to lose. Teams lose all the time, obviously. But to have that type of offensive showing, and for your defense that has been as good a defense as there is in the league, to let Brock Purdy at the end of the game in your building just march. That was a march.
Right down the field.
That was a march.
Yep.
That was like, who's good at marching? That was like Napoleon before Waterloo. That was a march.
All right.
All right?
I was more going like Alabama A&T.
Alabama A&T.
Yeah,
yes,
a
march.
March, yeah.
That was a march right down the field in your building, shoving it right down your throats. And now you have nothing good in Philadelphia until next September when the Eagles start playing again. Your hockey team stinks.
Lots of teams in
your
first place.
Baseball team's going to stink.
What do you mean? They're going to win the division again. You mean the division
your basketball
champion?
team stinks.
They also going to beat the Knicks in the postseason.
You guys stink.
You saw it take.
It's going to be a long, lonely summer.
Going to be great
for Eagle fans and Philadelphia sports fans. Woo! All right, we got a great show for you today.
Come on.
I've never seen you this upset.
Man, I'm furious today.
It's
this
almost
is not
like
the
you're
day.
a real fan.
Yeah, I am a real fan today.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm a little upset.
I like it. You should be upset. They embarrass themselves. We got a great show coming up for you right after this.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
OK Dubs has to go back to his roots. I'm not a Jets fan, I'm not a Giants fan, and neither one of those teams even play in New York. But I'm a New Yorker through and through, despite where my mail gets sent. And I will not stand for the Jets to be dragged through the mud in this way. Not going to happen. So Dante Moore, if you do leave, you should be so lucky to fly the plane.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The Steelers get their touchdown, and they miss the extra point. It was Lamar Jackson who made the plays to get the Ravens into what should have been easy field goal territory. So explain to me how in the world we can look at last night's game as, well, there you go, can't trust Lamar Jackson.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, one last thing today, at least for this particular show, on the Eagles situation, having lost the game yesterday, San Francisco, the great drive by Purdy, and that's without George Kittle, who tears his Achilles. I guess that power plant near San Francisco's practice facility is really knocking dudes out with those soft tissue injuries. I want to lay blame where I think it belongs. All right, and this is a fair debate to have. You could disagree. I'm not going to die on this hill. But I know for a lot of people in Philly, this is like a referendum on Jalen Hurts. That I think he had 6 games this year where he didn't throw over 200 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
And yesterday was another one of those games. Only threw for a $168, 1 touchdown, no picks. But here's the way I look at it. We have seen Jalen Hurts in big games play his ass off. We've seen it.
Yes.
We saw it in the Super Bowl run that they lost to Kansas City. And obviously we saw it last year in the Super Bowl run in which they became Super Bowl champions.
And he was MVP.
And because of that experience that you and I have seen with our own eyes, I know that Jalen Hurts is a damn good quarterback. So while Jalen Hurts, to be fair, has not played well and did not play well, and the offense was broken seemingly all year long, I attribute that to other things than not Jalen Hurts. Number one, obviously, Kevin Patullo as offensive coordinator is a major problem, and I can guarantee you that Kevin Patullo is not the offensive coordinator next year. I would not be shocked if he's fired today or reassigned today.
Yeah, what they'll probably do is they have to speak mandatorily sometime this week. They'll make that announcement this week when both Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni speak.
And
they
there's
won't speak
legitimate
today.
candidates out there. Mike McDaniel's the obvious first choice.
Yeah.
If you're looking at Cliff Kingsbury, I think it would be a great choice for there. But they're going to get, for sure, a new offensive coordinator. So I think we agree that was problem number one.
Yes.
The offensive game plan stunk.
For sure.
Problem number two, though, again, is not a Jalen Hurts problem to me. Problem number two to me is that this once vaunted offensive line played like crap. Now, we can explain that easily by saying Lane Johnson's the best right tackle in football.
He didn't play.
And I believe that he is.
Yeah.
He hasn't played in a couple months.
Yeah.
And he was a game time decision yesterday. Couldn't go.
Yeah, Liz
right?
Frank injury. They thought he would be back a couple of weeks ago. It didn't heal. He never could get right.
And the rest of the offensive line had nagging injuries, in, out.
I was told that the center, Cam Jurgens, he had a back surgery in the offseason. He needs another surgery this offseason.
So to me, this isn't like, hey, let's have a referendum on Jalen Hurts. Oh, Jalen Hurts can't play. I've seen Jalen Hurts play as good as any quarterback in football. I watched him win a Super Bowl MVP. I watched him go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes in the first Super Bowl that they lost on the Bradbury holding call. So to me, to wake up today and now say, oh, Jalen Hurts is the problem, Jalen Hurts ain't going anywhere. Jalen Hurts, for my money, and I've traveled with the Eagles. I've covered the Philadelphia Eagles back in the Rich Kotad and Ray Rhodes days, so I know the Eagle franchise very, very well. You've got Ron Jaworski, you've got Donovan McNabb, you've got Randall Cunningham, and you have Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts is better than all of them. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback this franchise has ever had. Now, I could play the game with you, of course. If you put Randall Cunningham in the NFL today, he might be the best quarterback to ever play. But he played 30 years ago, and that's when he played.
Yes, and the other part is he would have to quicken up that release. He had the looping release.
Had a 15-1 season for the Minnesota Vikings and should have gone to a Super Bowl with them.
Should have.
Right, but didn't. Right.
Should have.
So anyway, let's not make this now that Jalen Hurts can't play.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is a damn good quarterback, and if he was available on the open market, 20 teams would pick up the phone and say, I want Jalen Hurts to be my starting quarterback. I think you have a Nick Sirianni problem. I think Nick Sirianni is fine when everything's going perfectly well. When you have a great coordinator, when guys are playing well, when the offensive line is intact. I don't think Nick Sirianni is a bad weather coach.
Yeah, he's not a problem solver. He's not a problem solver.
He has no solutions, no answers for anything. He's a douche knuckle, and he goes along for the ride when things are good.
Yeah, and that part is true, and that's his weakness. Now, every coach has weakness. Organizationally, he does a very good job running a program.
Sure.
The issue is if there's a problem with the program, he doubles and triples and quadruples down. And by the way, that's a quote from him. He said that before,
and by the way, you
that's a
saw
problem.
it in Buffalo when they won that game in Buffalo coming into the tunnel. I don't hear anybody talking now.
Offense played terrible in the second half in that game as well.
You saw it with A.J. Brown on the sideline. But by the way, A.J. Brown should have been yelled at. Get off the field.
Get off the field.
You're going to be the 12th man on the field.
Right, you're going to drop the ball, and then you're going to knock it off the field.
Yeah.
He needed to do that. You cannot afford the penalty right at that
I have
point.
no problem with that. You know, we've seen great coaches do that all the time. But the Eagles are broken. The reality, though, in Philadelphia, I'm going to be nice to you folks in Philadelphia, only because I do love your soft pretzels. I do love your water ice.
You do?
And I can get both those things year-round. It's an easy fix. The Eagles are not broken as a franchise. Go get the right head coach, go get the right offensive coordinator, and the Eagles could be very well right back in the Super Bowl next year. There's more talent in that locker room than most locker rooms on the planet, which brings me to a question I have for you.
Yeah.
All right? So the Bills beat the Jaguars 27-24. Josh Allen was tremendous, obviously, right? The final drive, the 11-yard tush push. But it dawned on me, weren't the Buffalo Bills one of those teams that wanted to outlaw the tush push?
Absolutely. And the coach was very demonstrative, saying that it was bad for player safety, yet they let their franchise quarterback run the play that's so dangerous.
If it's good for the Joneses, it's good for me. But here's the question I have. Well, I guess we'll take this question into the break, okay? Because I want you to take 2 minutes to really contemplate an answer to the question. It's a great question. I need an answer to the question.
Yeah.
I've got my own answer. I'm not even saying I'm right.
Okay.
I want a different answer than my answer, okay?
Okay.
Did Josh Allen do enough this weekend? First road playoff game for the Bills since Jim Kelly in 1992. First road playoff win for him, obviously, as well. Did Josh Allen do enough that if the Bills lose next weekend, we're not coming up with an excuse for Josh Allen in a big spot? Has he shut everybody up by going to Jacksonville and putting the team on his back, which we've all said he has to do and needs to do for his legacy? Was that one road win against Jacksonville this weekend, 27-24, enough for Josh Allen to play with house money the rest of the way?
Now, I want to ask a question. Is the abuse I'm taking now from Buffalo fans, am I allowed to put that into my answer, or do I have to take that abuse out of the scenario?
You do whatever you want.
Okay.
I'll explain the abuse that Tyrone's getting after the break, then you'll answer the question.
Okay.
Josh Allen had a great game, not a good game. A lot of it with his legs, but is that enough now? We can stop the Josh Allen hate. Coming up right after this.
OK Dubs has to go back to his roots. I'm not a Jets fan, I'm not a Giants fan, and neither one of those teams even play in New York. But I'm a New Yorker through and through, despite where my mail gets sent. And I will not stand for the Jets to be dragged through the mud in this way. Not gonna happen. So Dante Moore, if you do leave, you should be so lucky to fly the plane.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Who are we looking at? We're looking at SGA because of his availability and consistency. It's Jalen Brown to do his usage and his leadership. It's Jaylen Brown for how they're playing. It's Cade Cunningham because Detroit's in the top of the East. The MVP talk is going to be wild, and it'll be interesting to watch. MVPs just don't dominate. They survive the season.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Steelers get their touchdown, and they miss the extra point. It was Lamar Jackson who made the plays to get the Ravens into what should have been easy field goal territory. So explain to me how in the world we can look at last night's game as, well, there you go, can't trust Lamar Jackson.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Well, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone A. Johnson here, as always. So, but Josh Allen did his job. Trailing late, takes the Buffalo Bills on a long drive, gets the touchdown, and the Buffalo Bills take care of business after the interception against Trevor Lawrence on their final attempt to come back and win the game. And now Josh Allen's done something that the Buffalo Bills franchise has not done since 1992, and that's win a road playoff game. So congratulations in Buffalo. But is that enough? Can we now look at Josh Allen, and should he lose in the divisional round of the playoffs as opposed to the wild card round of the playoffs, can we now say that Josh Allen should be talked about like one of the 3 great quarterbacks of his generation? Can you mention him now in the same breath as Joe Burrow, smoking on that Joe Burrow? Can you mention him now in the same breath as a Patrick Mahomes? I think the answer is a resounding no. You can. Is he a great quarterback? Yes. Is he top 3 now? Yes. Legacy-wise, he still trails behind, obviously, the greatness of Mahomes with the 3 Super Bowl rings. And even Joe Burrow, smoking on that Joe Burrow, has gotten to a Super Bowl. Go.
Yeah, my answer isn't no, it's hell no.
Hell no.
And here's why.
Hell no.
You won at Jacksonville. That's not significant, so much so that they always farm out one of their home games every year to Europe because fans don't show up. The other thing, he beat Trevor Lawrence. No disrespect to young Trevor Lawrence.
Had a good year, Trevor Lawrence.
Had a very good year, but he doesn't have the playoff pedigree of the guys necessary.
No, I think he has one playoff win, and that was the great comeback against the Chargers a few years back.
You talked about, when you mentioned Jalen Hurts, the significance of Hurts playing well in the Super Bowl is that he's going up against Patrick Mahomes, not Trevor Lawrence. So hell no. And I'm going to say this. It's not enough to just beat Denver either. That's not enough. If you're truly great, the way these Buffalo fans think he is.
Yeah.
And you used a play that you think should be illegal. So already I question all of your morality and your scruples in Buffalo. But absolutely not. It's not enough. It's not enough to beat Denver either.
Let's say they go into Denver. Denver's the 1 seed. If Josh Allen and the Bills,
they're
favored by
favored.
point it, right?
But doesn't matter. You're favored.
That's right. So Josh Allen's getting all the love and respect from Vegas. If they go into Denver as a 1-point favorite and they beat Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos and get to the AFC Championship game, at that point, has he done?
Hell no, you beat Bo Nix and you beat Denver again. No pedigree.
Right.
Because of this wide open
And by the way,
AFC.
Bo Nix is only in his 2nd year.
Right. This is not a big thing. And even if you beat after that,
okay,
whoever you pick.
Well, it's going to either be New England or the winner of tonight's game.
Yeah, because Drake May has a ton of playoff pedigree. He has tons of playoff pedigree. No, he has to get to the Super Bowl or none of this matters because he's supposed to be great. He's supposed
by the
to
way,
be great.
I think if the road to the Super Bowl is you beat Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, and let's just say Drake May.
Yeah.
Because that way it goes by seeding, right? And then you get to the Super Bowl. One could say you went up against the easiest group of quarterbacks any other great quarterback has gone up against. Now, it's not going to be remembered that way. As long as you get there and win, that's all anybody remembers. The flip side of that is the Denver Broncos defense is a top 5 defense in the league.
It is.
So you're not really playing against Bo Nix. You're playing against a great defense and one of the great cornerbacks in Surtain in the NFL.
That's fair.
Right?
Excellent defensive tackle
If
as well.
you then beat the Texans, assuming they beat New England, first beat Pittsburgh, then New England, you'd be going up against the best defense in football to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think at that point, your legacy is solid. I don't think you have to win the Super Bowl, but I'm with you. I think you got to get there.
Now, going on the road, Mr. Bet on himself, Joe Flacco did go out there and he got the job done.
Yes.
But when we look at Joe Flacco, we know that year was kind of a pretty big outlier. And why do we say that? In large part, it's because of who you beat.
By the way, they didn't give Joe Flacco any credit for the Super Bowl. It's all about the defense.
Well,
if you remember correctly.
Yeah, but he did get paid. He
got
the
paid.
big
He
contract.
became the highest paid guy in the league at the time.
Yes, he got paid.
But even afterwards, I remember guys having to come out saying, give the quarterback some respect. We had to make some throws for us to win.
Right.
But we all know it's because of the defense that they won.
Right. Now, if Baltimore is here this year, if the Chiefs are in, totally different ball game.
I agree.
We don't know long term if any of these teams are actually good because the pedigree teams are more on the NFC side. San Francisco's been good for a long time now. The Rams have been good for a long time now. Now, obviously, there's always going to be change in the NFL, but there's more pedigree teams in the NFC than the AFC. The Bills are the team with the most pedigree. To me, they are. They're the one. They're there every. Houston's not there every year. Pittsburgh is one and done almost every year.
Yeah.
Okay. The Patriots are
Bills
brand new. They have no pedigree.
The Bills won, 7 consecutive AFC styles, 6 consecutive, something like that.
They're the pedigree team.
They are the current I just got to put the word current in there.
In the AFC
They are
playoffs
the
this
current
year.
of the teams that are left, they are the team that is a perennial playoff team every single year. Yes.
Right. Therefore,
and they've never gotten to a Super Bowl.
So get it done.
Right. I agree. I would too agree. I did think it was a great game to watch.
It was.
I thought he was great late.
He was.
But I don't think it does a damn thing for his legacy. He's got to win 2 more. I'm with you. More show coming up.
Let's play a little buy or sell. I think it's pretty evident that despite being one of the best tight ends in the history of the NFL, Travis Kelce's play and physicality and everything, with all due respect, took a big step back. This was easily his worst physical season of all. He just didn't look like himself. Travis Kelce will retire after the season. Buy or sell?
Yeah, I'm probably 60-40 on this that he retires. The only thing I'd say that maybe he returns is because he doesn't want to end the way it ended, not making the playoffs and that sort of thing. But let's just say for Gales and Mahomes, he isn't going to be ready for September or October. And unless they get a really good veteran quarterback, maybe he doesn't want to deal with that either. Go through a training camp, and he may not make the playoffs either next year. So I'm probably 60-40. I think he's done. Too bad. Hall of Fame career. I guess good luck with Travis Swift and your podcast with Jason.
I'm buying this. Andy Reid addressing this question this week. Why? He could have just deferred and said, I don't know, we'll see. Fully answered the question about this hit maybe being his last game. What does that tell you? He knows. Everybody knows. I'm not 60-40, 90-10. I'm on buy. Bo Nix versus Caleb Williams. You'd rather have Nix over Caleb Williams in a dynasty league.
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to go Caleb here, mainly because he has more running ability than Nix. I think he'll also stay healthier than Nix. I might like his receivers more as well. He's got Dunze. He's got you got DJ Moore. You got the good tight ends here. Probably do lean towards Williams here. Not by a hell of a lot. It wouldn't be an easiest choice here, but I'm going to go with Caleb Williams here.
I would agree. It's not that I think that Ben Johnson is a better coach than Sean Payton. I think Ben Johnson is better for Caleb Williams than Sean Payton will be for Bo Nix. I think running is going to be a big part of what Denver does in the future. So there you go. I'll sell.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Hey, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyron Johnson here, as always. Remember before the playoffs when people were saying, wow, the playoffs aren't going to be as fun without the Kansas City Chiefs in there. Hey, we really need Kansas City to be in there. Remember that rhetoric?
I remember that.
All you no good Kansas City Chief ass kissers. Oh, the playoffs won't be the same without Patrick Mahomes in there. I don't know about you, but other than last night's game,
Yeah, that was a bad
which
one.
was a tough game to watch
Yeah.
because the Chargers offense did nothing, which we're going to get to in just 1 second. I would make the argument this was the single greatest wild card round of the NFL playoffs in recent memory.
It was.
Like more fourth quarter lead changes,
Yep.
more fourth quarter comebacks, more game-winning scores in the final 5 minutes. If you didn't love, again, last night aside, last night's game was a tough game to watch. Give the Patriots defense a lot of credit. They were all over Justin Herbert, who's now talking about legacy. We'll get to his in a second.
Yeah.
But I thought the wild card round was awesome, and there was a single minute Saturday night, or Sunday where I said, man, I wish the Chiefs were in this. It'd be so much more fun. Never.
Yeah,
It was great.
The first 4 games at the 2-minute warning was 1-score game in all 4 of them. 3 of them, the lead changed in the last 2 minutes, and 1, the drive stopped in the red zone.
Great football.
Great football.
I mean, back and forth, edge of your seat stuff, and quarterbacks making huge plays. Dropped picks, with picks. I mean, it was great. I thought if I'm the NFL, this is why I'm king. Because I may not have had the pedigree teams in there or the pedigree quarterbacks in there, but I'd make the argument this was the greatest weekend, wild card weekend of playoff football maybe we've ever had.
And what's crazy is down the stretch in the second half, the prime time games were perhaps the worst we've ever seen in the regular season.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if you get that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's why you endure all of that football to get what we got this weekend.
Yeah, now we have one more game tonight. We'll get. Are you making a pick on that game?
I am making a pick.
Tough weekend.
Tough weekend.
Tough weekend for Tyrone.
Tough weekend.
Tough weekend.
Tough weekend.
I mean, if losing is winning, you're a big winner.
You never bring up the good ones, though.
No,
I just noticed that.
I always acknowledge your record.
You go, yeah, you have a good record, but you never say, like, oh, you had a good weekend, a bad weekend.
Let's take a look at Tyler's picks from the weekend. He's 12 games, over 500.
Yeah.
Lost the Oregon-Indiana game.
Yeah, okay, that one was a bad one.
Wow.
That was a bad one. I wasn't alone, but that was a bad one.
At least you knew halftime that game was a wrap.
I didn't have to worry about it.
All right, good win, the Carolina win. I would not have been on that side, so you credit for that. Green Bay, look.
I should have won that. That's the only one that makes me mad. I should have been 3-3.
You were counting the money on that one.
I had that one.
Yeah, rightfully so, by the way.
I cashed out at halftime.
Did you? That don't count.
Well, I'm just saying, I can't. I still take the loss.
Jaguars had the lead with 5 minutes to go.
That's what I'm saying.
Could have won that one. Eagles had the ball. Late chance to win the game. You wouldn't have covered, but all right. And then you got the win with New England 16-3 against the Chargers. Can we now finally say that, try to think of the right analogy or description for Justin Herbert, right? Justin Herbert, have you ever been to it's like Denmark or Amsterdam or any of those Eastern Bloc European countries?
But I'm familiar.
Yeah, or is that Western Bloc or Eastern Bloc? Which block is that? I guess it's Western Bloc, right?
Western Bloc, yeah.
All right, I'm not good at geography.
East Bloc was Russia and the West Germans, East Germans, and all that. Yeah.
I'm good at a lot of things. Blocks of Europe, I'm not good at. I think
not a blocksmith. Not a blocksmith.
So I've never been there, but I've seen movies and like documentaries on what they call the red light district. Yeah. So the red light district is where you get hookers and coke and drugs and stuff. I suppose, right?
Or gentlemen's clubs.
Yeah.
And marijuana.
Yeah. Here in the States, we call that Times Square, but that's another story for another day. So a lot of times you see guys walking on the street, and there's like pretty girls in the window. Yep. And they're doing like the little dances and push-up bra stuff, and they're for sale. Yeah. They're hookers, right? So this is Justin Herbert is like the hottest Amsterdam hooker, but you can never break the glass and see her. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's a tease, is what he is. That's a long way of getting around to Justin Herbert just being a tease. Again, a playoff loss. Again, a bad performance. Again, an opportunity in the red zone to make a play, maybe even take the lead early in the game. And again, and I'll acknowledge, he was under duress.
He was.
And the Chargers' offensive line might be the worst offensive line of any team in the NFL. But Justin Herbert, once again, came up small.
He always does. And someone said he's like a model and that it looks good.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you speak to a model and there's a reason that she gets paid for her looks sometimes.
Yeah, she has a penis.
Also, I was more thinking not smart.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Same thing with a male model. Like, he might be a mimbo. Like, not things going on.
Got it.
That's him. And he looks the part, big, strong, tall, all that stuff. But when you actually put him in a real situation,
can't get it done.
Never can get it done.
Yeah, like he'll throw for 4,000 yards. He'll throw for 30 touchdowns.
He's
got a howitzer for an arm. He's got the size.
Tall, everything.
He's athletic. He's got everything.
Yep.
And then you get to games in mid-January. And again, I want to be fair to him. He was under duress the entire game. That's one of the worst offensive lines in all football. And that's a team, don't forget, in Harbaugh's first year did what? Drafted a left tackle with his first ever pick.
Got hurt.
Said, I got to protect my quarterback. And they protect their quarterback worse than any team in football. But Justin Herbert is not a good quarterback. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's the kind of guy that shows up at a flag football game, and you're like, man, did you ever play in the league? Because, wow, I'd never seen an arm like that.
Yeah, I was a first-round pick.
Exactly right. How'd you do? Well, I threw for a lot of yards. Big spot, small guy.
Yeah.
Big spot, small guy. Bigger the spot, smaller the guy.
Yeah,
That's
a lot of time we start to judge draft classes. Like we talk about it with Eli Manning and Roethlisberger, those guys, draft classes.
Yeah.
Marino, we know about all this.
Yeah.
Well, that 2019 class, you have Hurts, who has won a Super Bowl, wasn't great yesterday.
Been to 2.
You got Joe Burrow, who's been to 1.
Joe smoking on that Burrow, been to a Super Bowl.
And Herbert now, who has yet to win a playoff game or even come close. There's a gap between the other guys in his class and him.
And by the way, the reason you got Harbaugh to coach there was to make sure that Justin Herbert took the next step.
Yep.
He didn't take the next step.
He hasn't.
They've been in the playoffs both years since Harbaugh got there.
Scored one touchdown.
Good.
Scored 1 touchdown in 2 games.
But man, 16-3, you no-showed.
I mean,
That's a no-show.
It can't happen. And yes, you have to give credit to the opponent. You always have to give
Yeah, and I'll
credit
tell
to
you
the
this
opponent.
about New England, because I was one of those loudmouths on the radio and on the podcast saying they have the easiest schedule. They only beat a single team with a winning record. I don't think you can trust Drake May. I don't think you can trust the New England Patriots. I'll raise my hand. I'll lead from the front. I was wrong. That defense was stifling.
It's real.
Drake May wasn't great, but he was good enough. That team was good enough.
Make the big mistakes.
And 16-3 is a message. You just sent a message to everybody else moving forward. Forget about Drake May. You got to worry about my defense. And it also shuts another group of people up.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when the Patriots fired Gerard Mayo?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talks of racism. Bringing in the white guy. Is it fair to say that the decision to fire Jared Mayo and bring in Mike Vrabel was the right football decision? No offense to Gerard Mayo. Not about black or white.
It was absolutely.
They brought in a better coach.
Yeah, the issue was, to me, what had nothing to do with the race of that. What it had to do with, they knew Mayo wasn't ready yet.
Right.
And they knew Vrabel wanted to sit out a year. So what they did was they made him
accelerated the career movement of Mayo. He wasn't ready yet.
He was
for
never going.
I don't know if that's true or not, but fine.
That's absolutely
it's better
what
than
happened.
the cop out of black-white.
No, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Now, it just happened to be the guy they picked as the sacrificial lamb was a young black guy.
Yes.
And not an old white guy they could have picked to do the same thing. That part's bad because it set Mayo back. But they always want to hire Vrabel. Vrabel wanted to take a little time, and it turned out for him, he looked a little burnt out at the end of Tennessee.
He did.
He needed that year, and now look at him now, to the point where he gets a bloody lip from Milton Williams after the game, and he's like, he loves it. He's back in the trenches.
Yeah, he loves it. Loves headbutting dudes, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, just to fast forward the conversation, there's going to be a lot of smack talk this offseason that A.J. Brown's going to New England.
Yeah.
Obviously, Vrabel had him. Vrabel loved him. Hated the fact that they traded him when they did. So don't sleep on the fact. It's a cap problem in
AJ's
Philadelphia.
going to have to redo his deal. He's going to have to redo his deal.
You got to redo the deal and then get traded. But I'm telling you now, all this offseason smack talk is going to be, regardless of what the Patriots do or don't do moving forward, that A.J. Brown's going to be New England Patriot.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs might be in prison. They're going to need a wide receiver.
He's an upgrade.
So what do?
He's an upgrade.
Go get a better wide receiver in A.J. Brown.
And also,
Simple.
even though he's a coward, he's not a criminal.
He's a coward, not a criminal.
Not a criminal.
That is true. We got more stuff coming up, more football coming up, and a thought on tonight's game as well. Don't touch it.
OK Dubs has to go back to his roots. I'm not a Jets fan, I'm not a Giants fan, and neither one of those teams even play in New York. But I'm a New Yorker through and through, despite where my mail gets sent. And I will not stand for the Jets to be dragged through the mud in this way. Not gonna happen. So Dante Moore, if you do leave, you should be so lucky to fly the plane.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Who are we looking at? We're looking at SGA because of his availability and consistency. It's Jaylen Brown to do his usage and his leadership. It's Jaylen Brown for how they're playing. It's Cade Cunningham because Detroit's in the top of the East. The MVP talk is going to be wild, and it'll be interesting to watch. MVPs just don't dominate. They survive the season.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The Steelers get their touchdown, and they miss the extra point. It was Lamar Jackson who made the plays to get the Ravens into what should have been easy field goal territory. So explain to me how in the world we can look at last night's game as, well, there you go, can't trust Lamar Jackson.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here, as always. Something happened on Friday, and I typically don't like to talk about Friday things on Monday because so much time has passed.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anyone else talk about it, so I just want to get this out there. I think it's important for people to know where I stand on the situation involving the New York Jets and our future quarterback.
Okay.
I want to be very, very clear about this. The New York Jets, no matter what is said, no matter what happens at the combine this year, no matter what happens at the private workout, should not draft Dante Moore. Dante Moore proved on Friday night against Indiana he is not an NFL quarterback. And I'm telling you now, I saw it with my own two eyes. I remember on Thursday last week, the narrative amongst the jerk-off sports media guys on most networks was, if I'm Dante Moore, I don't want to play for the New York Jets. Great. We don't want you. Because I saw Dante Moore look like a high school child against Indiana in that semifinal game on Friday. And I don't know what Dante Moore did. I don't know why he was so overwhelmed. But for everyone that said that Dante Moore should demand that the New York Jets don't take him or even go back to another year of school just to avoid the New York Jets, the New York Jets shouldn't take Dante Moore. He's safe as far as I'm concerned. Come out of school, you can go number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't care. The New York Jets cannot draft Dante Moore. He is not an NFL quarterback. And I know I'm going to be kind of a little late to the party on this from a standpoint of thinking he's a legitimate NFL prospect. But I'll take Trinidad Chambers all day if he doesn't get to go back for another year of college football. I know the NCAA said no. He's suing them in court to try to get the extra year. Dante Moore cannot be a New York Jet.
Now, you feel comfortable saying that.
I'll say it again. Dante Moore cannot be a New York Jet. Now, that's got Dylan Gabriel written all over it.
Now, that's because he played poorly in the bowl game. That's
played
why,
like crap.
Right.
Indiana dominated
So
him.
Peyton Manning as a senior loses 42-17 in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
And goes on to a Hall of Fame career. But he played like crap in that game. He threw for 134 yards to a pick, and they were never competitive in that game.
Dante Moore never looked like Peyton Manning, but go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
No. This is Peyton Manning.
Go ahead.
And we're reacting to one bowl game.
Yeah.
Went on to be the first pick. You saw what kind of career he had.
Hall of
Fans
Fame.
out there, listen to the fans out there. If the football people evaluate him as a guy, you do not react to one game and decide his future. Why? Because it's crazy. Now, Craig Carton's a lot of things, all right? He's a good guy. And I know people might not believe that. He absolutely is. I'm saying it. He's a good guy. But I will say this. He's crazy to base it on one game. It's so crazy to base it on one game. It's irresponsible to base it on one game.
Let me play this out for you. Indiana has a roster that seems a lot different than most college rosters.
It's a lot older.
What do I mean by that? Exactly right.
It's a lot older.
The average player on Indiana is 37 years old. They have an old roster, okay? They decided that we're going to build with men as opposed to really talented young guys.
Yeah.
And by that's worked very well for them. More mature team, obviously a team that may not be as good pure athletically, but maybe they're a little smarter, a little more experienced, more football under the belt.
Physically
more
developed
physical,
as well.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
And obviously that works very, very well for them. And let me just say this about Indiana. I apologize. I apologize for suggesting that you couldn't afford to travel. And I want to thank the nice people at Greyhound for busing so many of you into Atlanta for the Peach Bowl. I know airfare's tight. I know it's hard, but 90% of that Peach Bowl building was Indiana fans. I saw Darren Ravel this morning say, based on secondary ticket market sales, 65% of the Orange Bowl is going to be Indiana fans.
That's right.
Again, thank you to Greyhound Bus for getting all those fine people from Indiana into South Florida for the bowl game.
I just said you were a good guy. That's how you apologize by insulting him.
So I want to apologize.
All right, here's one more point real fast. Peyton Manning against Florida.
Yeah, go ahead.
Junior year, he's supposed to be the guy. You know what he did?
No.
4 picks is what he did. You don't base long-term decisions on one game, Craig Carton.
Sometimes you do.
You never do.
Sometimes your eyes don't deceive you.
You never do.
Sometimes
you never do.
Your eyes tell you the truth.
You never do.
And the truth in this matter is, number one, he's not 6'3". Number two, he's not good enough for the big moment.
Yes, he is.
Number three, if the adults on the Indiana Hoosiers team did what they did to him on Friday, imagine what, I don't know, the Broncos defense is going to do to him. Dante Moore is not an NFL quarterback, and the New York Jets better not take him. Better not take him.
They better take him if they evaluate as the best guy. Here's the other part. You forget that his teammates were all kids, okay? In the NFL, he'll be playing with adults.
Yeah.
He was playing with kids at Oregon, talented kids.
Did you see the
but
first play of the
kids.
game?
Yes, I saw
You
the
saw
first
the
play
pick
of the game.
six on the first play of the game?
Sometimes you have a bad
Yeah.
game. I'm not suggesting.
He's not an
what
NFL
I
quarterback.
didn't say was he played well in that game.
Here's what
okay?
Dante Moore should do. No joke, because he seems like a good kid. Dante Moore should transfer out of Oregon.
He's not transferring.
Because Oregon, I think, is going after, I forget the name.
They already have. They have Dylan Raiola.
Yeah,
The way it's set up
they
is
just got the kid from Nebraska.
Yeah, Dylan.
Who looks like Patrick Mahomes.
That kid will be the backup.
No shot.
If Moore returns, it's already been
shot.
said.
Dante
They've
Moore's
already
transferring
worked
out.
out the money. He's not transferring out.
He should
He's
transfer
going to the
out.
NFL. He's going to start at Oregon
Yeah.
again with a different roster, and Raiola will sit just like Moore sat last year.
I'll tell you what.
This is slander.
Here's
what's
what we
happening
learned
right now.
And here's what Dante
This is
Moore
why the
learned.
Jets never win.
By the way, if Dante Moore goes back to Oregon or any other college, he goes back because he recognizes he's not ready for the NFL.
Yeah, that would be.
So that's based on the one game against Indiana.
It would not be based on one game.
Because before that game, he was the second overall pick.
No, his plan.
Now he's not getting drafted.
His plan was to play 2 years at Oregon and then go pro. Once people say you're going to be a top 5 pick, plans change.
Yeah.
And I tell you,
And
NFL
then you
people
suck against Indiana.
NFL people not named Craig Carton, because Craig's not an NFL person, right? They're not going to make a decision based on one game if they like his evaluation.
You'd be surprised.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
I've seen NFL general managers make decisions on one throw in a combine workout.
Yeah, because he can't make certain throws.
I watched it.
Yeah, because he can't make certain throws. He's on the right hash. He can't make the throw outside the left hash. He's on the left hash. He can't make the throw on the outside of the right
All I'm
hash.
telling you is
That's
I've
a
seen
trait
it.
situation.
I've seen it.
That's
I've
a
seen
trait
it.
situation.
And I'll tell you what, now that Oregon has brought in Dylan Raiola from Nebraska,
the backup.
Dante Moore ain't playing football no more in Oregon.
Yeah, in the NFL, on the clock, with the second pick in the draft. The New York Jets draft Dante Moore, quarterback, Oregon.
If the Jets draft Dante Moore, it's another decade of bad football.
No, it's not.
Dante Moore, while a good kid and a very good college football quarterback, proved to the world on Friday night he is not an NFL quarterback. And and by the way, that fumble where his hand hit the helmet of his running back, we all said the same thing. Jet quarterback right there. That's who the Jets are going to take. They're going to foobar. That kid is not 6'3", and that kid is, and I say that because they list him at 6'3", and that kid is not ready for the NFL. If you're not ready for Indiana, you are not ready for the NFL. I think he should stay in school another year. Unless someone's dumb enough to want to draft him at 3, then fine. Go top 5, I'm with you. Come out. But that kid is not an NFL quarterback, and I pray to the Lord that he's not my quarterback next year. Please, Lord, please, give me this one.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They have one more win than Chicago, and they literally beat Chicago in Week 17, and yet the Niners are on the road and the Bears are at home. Why? Because of an outdated rule that says, well, winning your division is the holy grail. Rewarding an 8-win division winner with a home playoff game is like giving the corner office to the guy who won the office fantasy pool instead of the guy who actually closed the accounts all year.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. A couple news and notes as we get out of here. After what was a great wild card weekend, you got a game tonight, Houston and Pittsburgh. Look, to be fair, I thought that Carolina had no chance to keep that game close, and they really should have won that game.
Should have won the
All
game.
right, so it's weird, though. I feel the same way about Pittsburgh tonight. I know the game's in Pittsburgh, so home field advantage. But the Texans' defense has been stifling for a couple months now, where I think it's fair to say they are the best defense, the most aggressive defense in the NFL. And I don't know how Pittsburgh's going to protect old man Rodgers. I think tonight's game could be a rout.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can make my pick right now if you'd like. I'll just make it now.
If you want to make the pick tonight, how'd you do this weekend?
I wasn't great.
Oh, we already went over that. That's
you already
right.
went over. You want to do that again?
No, it's okay. 2-4. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't great.
Okay. 12 games over 500, though, for the year, which means there's a chance if you lose out, you could wind up under 500 for the NFL college football season. That's on the table now.
I mean, okay.
It's possible.
I mean, if you want to look at it
that
like
would be a tough turnaround and start to the new year.
Well, yeah, especially since I'm usually picking 3 games that I like. This one, I'm picking them all. The volume throws it off a little bit.
Yeah, to be fair, we suggested that he pick every playoff game, and you went along with that. So it's
I mean, it's still playing, but I'll just say it right now. I like the Texans minus the 3 on the road at Pittsburgh. I think they win fairly easily. Now, it'll be misleading sometimes on the score because 10 points will feel like 40 points in a night like tonight because I don't think Pittsburgh's going to be able to move the ball a whole lot. And you know who gets the ball out the quickest of any quarterback in the league? Aaron Rodgers. The problem with that is they also have less big plays.
Yeah, they do have DK Metcalf back.
He's back.
That's a big deal for them.
He makes a difference.
And they got that big 300-pound tight end whose name escapes me right now.
He's back
who's
as well.
Like impossible to tackle.
Yeah. Washington.
I was thinking about this, though. Like, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you win the coin toss, are you putting your offense on the field to try to tell that defense we ain't afraid of you and have a nice drive? Or do you start defense on the field, defer so that the Texans take the ball first?
I think you still defer.
And here's why I said real quick.
I understand your thinking, though.
Not just because I want to send a message, I'm not afraid of your defense, but also if the Texans go on the field first offensively and they score in that first drive, Pittsburgh cannot play this game trying to catch up.
No, they absolutely can't. But so coaches value that if I have that last possession, they keep it thinking if I get the last possession in the first half and the first possession in the second half, I can flip the game. So they'll probably defer, but I like your thinking.
Yeah, a couple other things. Matt LaFleur is coming back to Green Bay by all accounts. He has a year left on the deal. It appears that they're going to negotiate a multi-year extension to stay in Green Bay. Obviously, the Bills win their game, so Sean McDermott ain't going anywhere in Buffalo, which means there's only one team. And all accounts in Philly that I've read online, this is not any inside info or anything like that, and you know Philly better than me, is that Vic Fangio's back as defensive coordinator. He's as good as anyone in the business at that. Kevin Patullo will be out. And the immediate thought right now, although goes to be a fly in the ointment on that, is that Nick Sirianni survives another year.
Yes, that's the thinking. But if Nick doesn't go with the program,
now Patullo's his best friend.
Right.
So if Jeff Fleury, which he always does, there's like an exit interview, and that saved Nick's job 2 years ago before then winning the Super Bowl.
They changed the staff. They won a Super Bowl.
It'll be interesting when they say to Nick Sirianni, you have to fire your best friend. And it'll be interesting to see what Nick Sirianni does. Some guys say, I'm not doing it. Like that's the story in Baltimore, that they wanted Harbaugh to fire his coordinators. He said no, he got fired. Is there a chance that Nick Sirianni, knowing he'll get another job, because there's a team desperate enough to bring him in, he did win a Super Bowl, is there a situation where Sirianni says, I'm not firing my best friend?
It may be. And that's also how Doug Peterson was fired from Philly after winning a Super Bowl there with Nick Foles. He said, I'm riding with my coaches, and they fired him. So
that's a storyline.
It's something to watch.
It'll play out this week. We'll know by Friday. What's going on. They'll have that meeting probably tomorrow or Wednesday. But we'll find out what's going on there. And final thing for me, everyone in Jacksonville is all in a huff. And I say everyone, I'm talking about the old school sports media guard. Because after Jacksonville loses that heartbreaker to Buffalo, Liam Cohen's at his post-game press conference, and there's a gal who is not an everyday sports reporter nor beat reporter, and she did this with Liam Cohen.
just want to tell you congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank
you.
you.
Hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank
and you did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you
it.
just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all
Thank
right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
People are going crazy about that because you don't do that at a press conference. You're not there to be his friend. You know, it's not your job. We can't tolerate 30 seconds of kindness anymore. It's not the normal thing. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But so what? She was covering the game because it's a Jacksonville story.
Right.
She's an associate editor of a newspaper in Jacksonville, and people are upset because she didn't do the job of a sports reporter. I say more of that, less of the hatred out there. I applaud that woman for exactly what she did.